Hey everyone, welcome to my latest episode. Previously we talked about the data modeling in Excel and also Power BI. Today we're going to talk about a more serious topic, which is the protection of your data, which is row level security. You can see here. Row level security basically is protecting your data by row. So the row, each of this line horizontally is the row that you try to protect. And the mechanism behind that is using the relationship filter propagation from one side to the many side to control the data flow and to control who can see what. But also, how do we sense who has logged in? For example, if I say this person has logged in, then due to his permission, because in this hierarchy, say employee can access which employee ID is this guy for, he can only see himself. That's why he can only see himself. But if I appoint another guy which has a more visibility, which is a manager of some subordinates, we just paste that in, he can see 4. This includes himself, but also another 3, 6, 7, 9. So if we have this kind of mechanism, this will automatically sense who has logged in this Power BI report and display the relevant information only relevant to his permission or hierarchy within this setup. So today we're going to go through how to set up that properly. So first, let's close this one because this is the final file. I have this file in the baseline. So before we jump through, there's one additional table I want to introduce to you, which is the access by hierarchy. If we go into the employees table that we ingest the last session, if I remove all of this, so it actually has a column called reports to, you can see over here. So the final outgo is we can have a table, say employee ID has access to ID and list in this way. If we open this one as well, so that's the final product. I'm gonna here explain to you how you reach to the final product using this kind of hierarchy. This is the minimum maintenance about your hierarchy, but this one is more suitable for your row level security setup in the Power BI modeling. You can see we have many rows being created for this kind of purpose. So don't be scared of that. We can work this in a very, very simple and systematic way. So first, we know that the first hierarchy we're gonna have is whoever log in is supposed to see himself. So if we try to replicate what we have over here, just copy that. So whoever has logged in, he can definitely see himself. Second is if 5 logs in, he can see 6, 7, 9, right? So that's a different one. So we can say 5 logs in, he can see 6, 7, and 9. And another thing we need to consider is, okay, since 2 looks like it has a lot of power because 2 can see all of these guys, right? So we need to add that as well. So 2 has access to this guy and this guy, right? And also, since 2 can see 5 and 5 can see this 3, so the power has been passed cascade down from the 2 to 5 and also to the bottom. So which means 2 through 5, he can also see 6, 7, 9. But in this kind of reason, there's some duplication happens. So we go into the data, remove duplicates. Okay, once we remove, you can check that. With 20 rows, we have 20 rows over here, right? And logic is pretty same. 1 to 9, they can access themselves. 2 has more power to the rest, where in the bottom, the same thing. 5 can access 6, 7, 9. Okay, that's how we drafted this hierarchy table, easy for a row level security use from this row table. Okay, let's close that, do not save, close that, do not save. Okay, now we start with our baseline file. If you want to have the download, just CC me or message me. I will send you the file and you can practice the row level security in the Power BI. Now we open the baseline. Baseline has the basic hierarchy has been set up, relationship has been settled in such a way. We just need that access table. So we know that the first step you get that is the ingestion through the Power Query in the Power BI. You can see there's no access table because from the row to the tables, I didn't include that. So you need to include access by hierarchy. Then you have this one. Now we're gonna reference this ones. We're gonna rename this as access. So we have access. We're gonna go into the binary. Then that's the thing we have. We put it into output. Since we're gonna use whoever logs in the Power BI world, he sends you login by your email. So simple as that, you can remember that. So we need to include the email address for the first column in this table. What we do is we're going to merge this back to one of the table, which is the employee, and use employee ID. The reason you can't do that because the type doesn't match. So in Access, we force this to text. Here we force that to text as well. Now we start to merge employee, first column, get 20 of 20. Now expand that. Don't need anything, we just need the employee email. I don't need the original name. Hit OK, drag this into the middle. So middle column is telling us who has login. And one login, you can control 1. 2 has this many. Let's just sort it by the way that it can be easily managed. So 2 has many Farfetch because he's the top in the hierarchy. Okay, once this is done, we can close and apply. Now you will see a new table. Now Access has in place. Okay, let's just create a new layout. Let's just say Access layout. Okay, for our today's topic, we're gonna filter the whole model by introducing a new table, which is the Access. And this, we want this to control something so the order details can be filtered. The order detail is filtered by orders. Orders is filtered by employees. So our target is not to filter orders, it's not to filter order details. We're going to filter employee. This will help us to cascade down the filter function, the power from employees to orders and also to the orders detail. So we kind of need to link them. So we link the employee ID to that ID. But there's only one problem. We know the filter directions. This one is a single. Single means that the filter is going to flow from one to many, which is employee can filter access. Access cannot filter employee, right? Somebody may argue, oh, I found this. You can set up both, but this is highly not recommended. We're going to use a DAX way to overcome this issue, but do not easily get over it by using the both and also active both. So that's not good design. So we're going to bypass that. We can have a further discussion later on, but here we're talking about how do we pass the filtered data from the many side to the one side using a DAX. Okay, so we're going to use the filter that applied to the Access to find that. Fortunately, we have this DAX security to help us. So let's just learn how to filter things. So first, let's return the Access table to have a look. So that's the Access table has a lot of person. If we know that we can filter this Access by saying Access employee email equal to, let's just say, for example, I want filter to this guy. Okay, close that, run. So this is the way you filter the Access table, which is the many side of this relationship. But also what you can do is you can actually pass this to the employees table. What we can do is for this, since I know that the linkage between these two are employee ID, so I don't need the rest. So I can cut this. I can write the selected column function. This will help us just pick one column or multiple columns from a table. And the table is the one that we use a filter function created, which is a table which has been filtered. And here is the name of the new column. The name of the new column going to be just say access to ID. Let's just say has access. Okay, so new column I'm going to call this. And the column we're going to pick is from this access email address. Oh, sorry, is actually the has access ID that column. Has access ID column. So this is telling us we're gonna pick this table and this column, rename this column as the has access to ID, which I didn't change at all. That's totally okay. If we run that, this will return the related access column for employee ID 5, because 5 is supervising 6, 7, 9, including himself, right? So this is actually we're going to use for our DAX for the row level security. Then we can define the employee ID table. We want to say every employee ID from the employee table is in one of these kind of values. So going back to here, what we're going to do is going to the modeling and the manage roles. We add a new role. We call this as org access. Hit OK. Remember, we're going to filter the employees table. We can say employee ID in, and we just paste whatever we have done. So this will return full value. We say filter the employees table to include only the employee ID in the full value that we just produced. We check that, everything's fine, we save that. Right now, still nothing happened. Why? Because if we're going to access, we write a new measure. We check who is right now is logged in, who logs in. You can check that by the user principal. Hit OK. Take this, drag this to here. The reason you see this guy is because this is my computer name. That's why it's showing as this. But your view, modeling view as, can actually help you to change another one. For example, Ben, this will change to Ben, right? But if we want to filter that, for example, we want to filter that to this guy, the number 5, we copy his value, we manage rows, check that everything's fine. You can see this is limit to that, so this is not right. But let's change that first. We change the login to this person. We say he's in this one. Okay, this is filtered, right? So if we change it to another name, stop viewing, say King Robert, US, other, paste. Nothing changed. They still see the 4 person, and the 4 person is under the control of number 5. Why is that? I already showed you that because here we hard coded saying we didn't sense who has login. We say employee email is always this number 5 guy. So we need use the proper function here, which is the user principal. This will review the whole path. Save. Close that. Now you can see King Robert can only see himself. Stop viewing, we check another one. The first one is supposed to see only himself. We can check the hierarchy through the access table. ID, email, and this one. So 1 has access to 1, 2 has access to most of the people. So if we view as, we take this, paste the number 1, and he can hear this. Nancy can only see herself, and also this is since Nancy is logging right now. So that's the basic setup about your role level security. It's actually action from a modeling point. So you need to be familiar yourself with the filter propagation, how to toggle that. And also you need to know how to reverse engineering about using the DAX travel to apply your filter on the managed side and back to the one side, which we have explored here. So that's pretty much for today. Hope you enjoyed the video and apply the role level security to your Power BI report from today's. We're going to continue this topic to a more in-depth level, but that will be the next session. So today, just stay with me with this kind of setup and enjoy the role level security with your new Power BI development. Thank you. See you guys next week.